Heroic quests that involve sword fights are a favorite of gamers. Sword fighting is usually prevalent in role-playing games, but there are also some other genres that allow you to prove your bravery and skill by wielding a blade against your adversaries. For all the sword fighting aficionados, we compiled a list of the 10 best games that will definitely test your skill. While some of these titles are a little bit older, others are so fresh they haven't even been released yet, but rest assured, they'll be out later this year. The sequel to the 1997 Shadow Warrior is a first-person shooter set 5 years after the events of the original game. The players assume, once again, the role of the witty ninja warrior Lo Wang and must defend the world from armies of demons sent from another dimension. It can be played in a single-player mode or in a new 4-player co-op mode, and new mechanics such as climbing walls and double jumping have been added. The mission structure is less restrictive, more of an open-world environment being available. Shadow Warrior 2 offers a range of 70 weapons, including firearms and various blades. Inspired by Jedi Knight 2, Jedi Outcast: Blade Symphony is a multiplayer action video game that focuses on sword-based dueling. Its gameplay is not intended to be based on actual sword fight physics, but a more acrobatic, fantastical approach is preferred, with flashy animations and unreal effects. There are multiple characters the player can choose from, as well as different styles and blades, a deathmatch mode, or a 2 vs 2 mode being available. The variety of fighting moves and the depth of the gameplay are features that have been appreciated by fans of the genre. Mount & Blade Warband is a standalone expansion to the action role-playing game Mount & Blade. The gameplay is based more on horse-mounted combat and on giving orders to one's warband in the field. A 6th faction has been added, the Sarandid Sultanate, as well as some other improvements like more political options, the ability to start your own faction, and multiplayer modes. The focus has shifted towards direct combat, and the multiplayer matches can include up to 250 players, split up into 2 teams based on the factions selected. Nidhogg is a side-scrolling 2-player fighting video game where players duel with swords in a pixel art-inspired environment. The 2 opponents can perform actions such as run, jump, slide, throw their swords, and fistfight. The position of the swords indicates the direction the hit will land so that players will have an indication of where to parry. The goal of the game is to push your rival towards the edge of the screen, the first player to reach the end being eaten by the mythological Norse serpent Nidhogger. The game has 4 levels in single-player, local multiplayer, and online multiplayer modes. A sequel named Nidhogg 2 is going to be released sometime in 2017. A Steam Early Access title, Exanima was born as a prelude to an ambitious open-world RPG project named Sui Generis. It is a dungeon crawler that takes place in the underworld of the Sui Generis world, and it happens 20 years prior to the main storyline. Using a 3D isometric view, Exanima offers players the opportunity to explore, fight, and survive in a dark fantasy world. The gameplay is deeply immersive, and the array of weaponry available is truly impressive. You can fight with virtually anything from a crude prosthetic leg to a more complex 2-handed sword. A 3D fighting video game, Bushido Blade features one-on-one third-person armed combat. Upon its release, the realistic fighting engine was appreciated for its innovative nature, particularly the body damage system. No time limit or health bar is present during a match, and most hits can cause instant death. There are 8 weapons to choose from, and to name just a few, we should mention the katana, the saber, and the longsword, the broadsword, and the sledgehammer. Each of these has a different level of strength and speed, depending on the weight and length of the weapon. Set during the conflict that gave this title its name, War of the Roses is an action game that was very appreciated for its extensive customization possibilities and for its authentic control scheme. The player can fight either for the House of Lancaster or for the House of York, and the game is played mainly from a third-person perspective. It has great multiplayer gameplay. There are 3 types of weapons that can be equipped: primary, secondary, and a dagger. The weapon variety is very impressive, and choosing one that will match your preferred fighting style may turn out to be a daunting task for a new player. A multiplayer-focused hack-and-slash, Chivalry is set in a fictional world similar to the Middle Ages. Its gameplay is very reminiscent of the one from Half-Life 2 mod, Age of Chivalry, involving a primarily melee combat performed from either a third-person view or a first-person one. Swords, maces, and longbows are the weapons of choice, and the players can choose from 4 classes that are available: Archer, Man-at-Arms, Vanguard, and Knight. Its ultra-violent gameplay has been much appreciated, making Chivalry a sought-after sword-fighting title. Even though as of January 29, 2017, it has not yet been released, the wait is almost over, because For Honor will be officially launched on the 17th of February. It's an action online hack-and-slash video game that features a hand-to-hand combat system described as the Art of Battle that allows players to take the roles of historical warriors such as medieval knights, samurais, and Vikings. There are 3 different playable factions: the Legion, the Chosen, and the Warborn, each with 4 classes: Vanguard, Assassins, Heavies, and Hybrids. For Honor has created quite a hype around its release, and all we can do is have a little more patience to see if it will really be worth it. Another title that has yet to be released, Kingdom Come: Deliverance, is a true reenactment of the medieval era contained in a video game. It's a role-playing single-player experience with quests that will have the player dive into a highly interactive world. The period-accurate armor, combat techniques, and real-world castles were recreated with the help of architects and historians, so the degree of accuracy will be at its peak. Combat is based on a physics system using inverse kinematics, and the player will have to use a variety of weapons, such as swords, knives, axes, bows, or hammers, each of them being suitable for different situations of combat. This was our list showcasing some of the very best sword fighting games out there, and we hope you've enjoyed our video. If you did, please press the like button, as we do appreciate it and it does help us immensely. We often ask our audience for suggestions to compile these lists. If you'd like to contribute, please follow Frag Hero on Facebook. And also post some other great sword fighting games that you've played in the comments below, because we do try to read pretty much everything. Now would also be a good time to encourage you to subscribe, because we upload new videos all the time. Subscribing will keep you up to date with all of our latest content. You can also check out fraghero.com for more gaming-related articles. Until next time, thanks for watching, and have a great day, guys.
Hand me my long sword.